Hi everybody. So before starting, let me just give you a quick introduction of myself. So hi, I am Nupur Rawat, and I have a total experience of 8+ years in the QA industry. And today I'll be presenting geolocation testing along with Somya Arora. Somya, you want to go
Hi,
next?
yeah. Hi, I'm Somya Arora and I have total experience of around 5.6 years and will be completing 3 years in October. In October. So can you go ahead? Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Somya, for the intro. Thanks, Somya Brata and Jyoti, for the wonderful mutant testing, giving an insight into the mutant testing. So today the topic me and Soumya is going to cover is geolocation testing. So let's just understand first like what is geolocation testing and why do we need it. So geolocation words come by combining two words geography and location. So identifying the geographical location of a person with the help of an electronic device often comes under geolocation. As already mentioned in the introduction of this talk, that over 90% of the apps in today's world are using geolocation feature to enhance their business. So it becomes very important for us as a tester to verify the functionality of the location based scenarios for a seamless experience. Then the next question that comes in our mind, that how these apps are actually using the geolocation. So that can be done using two aspects. One, using the IP of your device, you can track the IP of your device, and second is actually utilizing the GPS coordinates of your device. With that, I would just like to have a poll with the audience that how much you understand geolocation, and like have you in the past have you felt the need of geolocation testing. So can we launch the poll first? Yeah. So let's play KBC for a while. The questions are on your screen. So please, we are waiting for the results. So 40% of you says that you haven't heard about the topic. Like 17% have a good knowledge on the topic, and 43% of you say that they are somewhat familiar. So let's just dwell more into the topic, and I think by the end of this presentation you all will be saying that we are like very much familiar with geolocation testing. So before that, if from the audience I can just hear like where do they feel like they have seen, I know they have seen all the apps where they kind of ask for the geolocation permission, but can you give me an example of an app and where actually they are using the geolocation feature? Can we have that in the chat, please? So Rahul says that he was in the KBC session last season. That's great to hear. Then the poll comes Uber, Zomato, Facebook, Ola. Yeah, all these applications are actually using your geolocation. But in what aspects they are using, let's just dwell more into that. So let's just dwell like what are the terminologies that are basically associated with geolocation. Uh, let's move to the first part. Yeah. So today, actually, the apps are actually targeting their audience according, like they're targeting the suitable audience. They are not targeting everybody. So geo-targeting, the first term that we come across while doing geolocation testing is geo-targeting. It's basically targeting the base audience on the basis of their location. And the second term comes as geofencing. Geofencing is nothing but creating virtual boundaries around a certain area, and anybody who comes into that area, then actually your app starts giving messages or something like that. So do you see the first example on your right, the geofencing works? So there is a virtual boundary that has been drawn, that you can see with a blue line. So that can depend from one piece to another, like how you want to draw that boundary. So anybody who's crossing the boundary is actually getting some notifications, or getting something alerts, so that they can actually attract the audience. A simple way to think about geofencing work is to imagine a ride sharing company. You may then want to create a geofence around a location such as an airport or a stadium, right? And the areas which are crowded and where the people will need the transport more, and they don't have their own cars. You go to the airport, you don't have your own car, but you need transportation, right? Or you have gone to a party and you have consumed alcohol and you don't want to drive the car. So then that place is actually a good point to cover as many as people for your service. So we can actually mark virtual boundaries around those areas, like cricket stadium, or anywhere, and we can target those audiences. Now, when I say geo targeting, so they geo fencing and geo targeting are like Hansel and Gretel. They are like brother and sister, but with a certain twist. So geo targeting is very specific. With geo-targeting, you can involve larger areas, but you can also specify the needs of your customer. Like, you want to target larger geography area, but you want to target audience which is of age 45, or which are women. So you can also specify your specific needs. For this example, I can cover a pizza restaurant. So suppose you have a new vegan pizza. Now you want to target people, say for example it's in Delhi, and you want to target people in Delhi, to try to come to your restaurant and try that new pizza. But you know that everybody is not going to try your pizza, right? So you will add some factors like, they should have interest in their health, they should be dieting, they should be vegetarians. So those criteria you can specify in geo targeting. One minute. Yeah. So the next example, so geofencing and geotargeting will be incomplete if I don't cite this example to you. It's a very interesting example, and it was all over the news when actually it happened. So there's McD, right? And this popular example is known as the detour advertisement by the Burger King. So what happened? What the Burger King did, they created a geofence around each of the McD restaurants in their area, and it was around 600 feet. 600 feet wide boundaries they built around all the McD restaurants. So what happened, whenever the customer used to cross that boundary, what the Burger King used to do, they used to give up a pop-up that offers only for you 1 cent Whopper burger. So that actually resulted in 1 million times more download of the Burger King app, because they have to install the app, then they have to go towards the McD, and they will get 1 cent Whopper burger. It is a very famous example of geofencing and geotargeting. The next slide. Then there are several other examples, if I think the girls might be knowing. So there's a brand name as Sephora. So they have a Sephora companion app, and every time you visit the Sephora stores, that companion is going to show your previous purchases, and what you might be interested in. So as soon as you go to the Sephora stores, all those advertisements comes to you, right? So that is also example of geo targeting. You are entering the store, and geo targeting and geo fencing together, that you are entering the stores and you are getting uh, the advertisement regarding that. And similarly, I've cited an example of the Van Leeuwen ice cream brand. So what they did, this Van Leeuwen ice cream brand, they integrated with the PayPal mobile payment option. So whenever a customer used to shop near in the scorching heat near a Van Leeuwen store, they used to get offers from the PayPal that you are getting $5 discount on the Van Leeuwen ice creams. So there's no escape for the customers, right? They used to go to the Van Leeuwen stores, since they have already got a $5 discount on the ice cream. They used to go there. So, so in short, long story cut short, that geo-targeting and geofencing, it's widely used by the advertisement industry and like the apps for actually luring in their customer. And actually, they want to set the expectation right. So with that, I just want to ask the audience, like, what what is it that you feel when they'll do geo-targeting and geofencing? what what is the advantages of doing that? Can somebody let me that answer in the chat? Yeah, more sales, more business to the client, advertising, increasing in sales, increasing business, yeah, better revenues, finish. Yeah, everybody is kind of right. So they are actually, I think Gaurav Asthana has correctly said that finding the target audience, not actually giving the ads to everybody, but actually finding the right target audience for you and advertising and publishing those advertisement to them. Yes, and user engagement. Yes, correctly pointed out. User engagement and better revenues. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. Yeah. So the another feature that comes with the geolocation is geotagging. So geotagging is nothing but just remove the word geo and just focus on the word tagging. So you have done tagging a lot of times. You went to watch your favorite movie. You have geotagged. You have tagged yourself on Facebook. You went to your favorite restaurant. You have tagged yourself, right? And the next thing that comes in localization. Localization, um so when you are in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? Jaisa desh vaisa bhesh. So so all the application, whichever application, so suppose this is Netflix. On the right screen you can see Netflix, right? So according to the world geographies, you can see the plans are changing, the currency is changing. So actually all website, what they do, since all the websites in today's world are global, they are not limited to one country or one region. They are actually spread over the entire country. So as soon as you change their region, they'll change their content in order to lure the customers, right? So the customers can connect with the app more. And then comes the examples of geotagging. I think I've already explained to you this one, but as you know that it has been seen, like once you do geotagging, the app engagement kind of increases. So the figure here demonstrates that the apps which are using geotagging, they have a more engagement, like 86.8%, and apps which are not using in today's world geotagging, they are having a lesser engagement. Then again, localization example, it's prime. I've shown only two pictures here, but it can be like a varied more examples, like the weather app, the prime app, the Netflix app, everything, every app I would say, which is a global app, which will actually use localization to serve their content. So I have taken very interesting example of the IKEA store. So as you know, in Japan the Paralympics are going on. So this is the Japan website from the this is the IKEA website from the Japan IP, and this is from the India, and this is the same stores page. Here you can see that since the Paralympic is going on, they are rendering some different content, saying that what they have done to control the coronavirus and what are the new IKEA initiatives. And in the Indian stores, you can see that they are targeting the Hyderabad and the Navi Mumbai stores. So this is an example of localization, how the things can change from country to country. So the Japan one, I have just changed the language so that it's more relevant to you. You can read the content. Otherwise, everything would be in Japanese. Now again, geo blocking. Now I think geo blocking you must have heard, and in the recent times, there's a very big example of geo blocking. So what happened? Like India blocked many of the Chinese apps, and how did they do it? The Indian apps asked the Indian government as the apps manager, Chinese apps people, that please don't serve content in when the request is coming from India. So the apps were kind of able to geo block any request that is coming from India. So it's based on IP. So whenever they detect whenever the IP is coming from Indian region or something like that, they can block those requests, and that's why that PUBG and all, you were not able to access at that time. With this, I think let's let's also launch the poll, like to understand that how much you have gained out of this discussions that we had. So can we launch the poll, second poll? So it's an example that as you entered the lifestyle store in the Pacific Mall Saket, lifestyle app start on your phone starts sending notification for discount on shopping above rupees 200. So what feature of geolocation they are using? So the options will be geotagging, geoblocking, geotargeting, all of the above. Now next time, whenever you receive those notification, you might be able to. So 77% of the people have answered geo-targeting, which is absolutely correct. It's actually geo-targeting that you start getting the notifications because they are tracking your location, and whenever you are entering that store, they are able to determine that you have entered your store, and they are sending you the notification because you are the right audience for that notifications. So again, I've already exampled like how geoblocking is being used. Now data points showing effectiveness of apps using geolocation, like how the apps are gaining uh, how the apps are gaining their business context while using geolocation. So the importance of geolocation. So as you can see here, the advertising industry, as you know, is $1 billion industry, and they have increased their investments over the time in geolocation based served ads. So that is the kind of money the market is right now investing into it. And then we also, like I've already shared with you, that showing result based on the content distribution law, that every app has, there are certain restriction with the all the apps, and based on that they have to display their contents, right? So maybe China have certain restriction, and all the apps have to comply by that. So they're using geolocation to comply by those restrictions. Next slide. And this shows the market effectiveness whenever you are using geo-targeting. Whenever you was using geo-targeting, you are actually capturing more market, because instead of capturing all the audience, you are just capturing the relevant audience in a better way and in a personalized way. You are sending them some personalized notifications and advertisements. Security. Another aspect is the security thing. So you might have seen, like whenever you do a Google Pay, it always asks for your location, right? So what happens? The Google Pay also have this functionality that suppose you have made a transaction in Delhi at 8:30, and 8:35 it shows you start doing a transaction in Pune, which is not possible. They'll detect it as a fraudulent transaction, and they can block your transaction, or they can send you some notification that somebody is trying to do a fraudulent transaction on that on your from your mobile number. Yeah.
So we can launch a poll.
Yeah. So this was the part first. Now in the second part, Somya will be covering that. We have covered like how, what is geolocation, how it is important, what are the different technologies. Now Somya will be covering like how can you do actually geolocation testing, how you can do actually. So before that, I'm just launching a poll just to understand that how much you have understood till now.
So which feature of geolocation Ola app uses? Is it geofencing, geoblocking, or both?
So 45% says all of the above, and 55% says geofencing. So OLAP might be using geo-blocking in some countries where it is not permitted to be used, right? So the answer is all of the above.
Right. So as Nupur explained all the above things, one thing that as a QA, which is very important while testing the applications is test data. So you must be wondering that how this geolocation is represented in the application backend. So it is basically represented in either the JSON format or the XML format. The JSON format is the GeoJSON and XML format is GPX or KML. So these are kind of standard formats in which the location or the geometry objects are represented. In the next few slides, I will be covering about all the data types that are used in geolocation testing and how we can test the applications manually, and is there any scope of automation also in geolocation. So these are the kinds of geodata that are available. So you are sitting in your home right now. So you so your location is static. So how will it be represented in backend? It will be represented by the first data type, that is point data. It is having two coordinates, latitude and longitude. Suppose you ask that, suppose I am moving inside even in my home, so how your location will change and how it will be represented? It will be represented like a path data having a lot of points, which are having the coordinates latitude and longitude. You can see here that the object is JSON, the type is line string, and it is having coordinates in an array. And the third kind of data is polygon. So suppose you move from your home, you go to another location and you again come back to your home again. So the area that you covered is a polygon, and how your location will be represented, it will be represented in this format in which the first point and the last point is same. So it is a kind of enclosed path. Only the difference in between two is that the first point and the last point is exactly same. Fourth one is the track data. So suppose you order food from any application and you are tracking the delivery of the delivery guy. So how it will be represented in the Swiggy's code base? So it will be represented in this format. So it is a XML format, you can see GPX, and it is having the longitude and latitude plus the timestamp. So at each timestamp, the location will be different, and thus it is represented by this data. And feature data is nothing. It can be point data, it can be track data, it can be any data. just it has some of the additional things like address or created time other than the normal geometry object. So I hope you must have got an idea that how it is represented in the backend. So it will be more clear to you when I will show it by a real life example. So this is a food delivery application. Suppose this person is yourself. So you are ordering food from any location. So the location of you or the food delivery point will be represented by point data. Now the path between you and the food delivery outlet will be represented by path data. Suppose the delivery guy leaves the outlet at 9:20, and how will you represent the location of the delivery guy at 10:30? So at that time, the data that will be used will be track data because it is having the timestamp along with the location. So we can launch a poll. Arihant.
Sure, just give me a second.
Yeah, so which is the geometry data object used by social networking sites for geotagging? So you are using any social networking site like Facebook or Instagram and you're tagging a location. So what kind of data it will be? Point data, track data, polygon data, or none of the above? You're just entering the you're just tagging yourself and pointing the location where you are currently present at that time. Yes, all of you are almost correct that the point data will be used in order to store the location for those kind of situations. Cool. We can move to the next slide. So now you have got an idea that what kind of test data is used in geolocation testing. Now you must be wondering that is there any way to evaluate that data? So you have created the test data, but is it correct? So for that there is a web service called Geojson Lin. This is a free web service in which you can validate the GeoJSON. As soon as you paste the JSON on the left, you will be able to see the pictorial visualization of the object on the map. So you can see, you can change it from point to line string to polygon to feature, and whatever test data you want to test, you can paste it on the left and you will get the uh, representation on the right. So this is just one way in order to ensure that your test data is correct or not. So now we are all aware about what test data we will be using and how to evaluate it. But there are certain things that we should keep in our mind while we do the geolocation testing. So we have to mention the exact location, the exact coordinates, else it can create a lot of differences in the testing results. We should test the application in various conditions, like suppose we are talking, we are walking, or in different signal strengths, then we should consider all these situations also while we are testing the application. Plus, you should not only consider testing only on one emulator or on one real device, you should test on a variety of devices because it may vary. So, in order to produce exact results or in order to test correctly, you should consider a lot of devices. Now, we will be covering that how the geolocation testing can be performed for web applications. So, browser stack can be used for both web as well as mobile. DevTools, you must all be aware what DevTools is. So we can do the geolocation testing by DevTools or we can use it by VPN. So what we have done is we have created small videos in order to show you that how geolocation testing can be done by using these two tools in the next upcoming slides. So this is by using the dev tools. You can inspect the element, go to the console, just click on the three dots on the right and click on sensors. So you will be able to see locations. Here you can add the location of your choice on which you want to test the application. So currently my location was Noida. So it was, the weather app was showing Noida. But I am changing my current location to say suppose Berlin. And you can even add the location here, your own location. Suppose I have changed it to Berlin now. You have to refresh the website once or twice because it takes slightly some time in order to get updated. So I am refreshing it. So see, first time it did not get updated, but once I refreshed it again, then it got updated and the weather app was showing me the correct results for the temperature as well as my details of the country or the city I am in. So this was using the dev tools. The next video will show you how we can use VPN in order to test geolocation. So this is the Amazon site. I am searching the price for Apple iPhone and currently my location is India. So you can see that the content and the feel of the website is specific to India only. This is the free VPN that I used, Winscribe. So what I did, I changed my location to Germany, and in order to be sure that whether it has been updated, I just opened Google Maps. My current location got changed to Germany. You can see. So it got changed to Germany here. Now if I open the Amazon site, so what you will see is that the link has been updated. It is showing amazon.de. It is showing the content that is specific to Germany. And even the flag on the right, it got updated. If I search the price of Apple iPhone again, then you can see that my currency is updated and also the results, the search results order also got updated and many more things got updated. So it is specific to that region. And similarly, you can change the location to any other location. I changed it to US. Then my feel of the site also got changed. So this was one easy way by which you can easily test your localization or all the applications that are using localization. Now, since we are using mobile and all the applications are there on mobile which are using the geolocation feature, so there must be some ways by which we can test the mobile apps as well. So in order to test the mobile applications, there are two excellent tools that we can use. First one is Android Studio or Xcode, and the second one is Loketo. Loketo is a free app that is available on Play Store, and Android Studio and Xcode you must all be aware about. We have pasted the two of the videos for both of the tools in the upcoming slides. So I have opened the Android Studio on the right. There is a feature of location. If I click on location, I can tap on the map anywhere, and this got selected as a point data in right. If I select any of the point data on the right, I will show this video again. If I choose the point on the right and I click on set location, and I am using the emulator on the left in order to test my Uber application, that how it is behaving in a particular location. So just you have to select any point. This will give you the coordinates of that point, set that location, allow your emulator to use that location, open the app, and then you can search for any. Suppose I am in so I have selected Germany as my location. So in the left, you can see when I try to book my cab in Germany, then I will be directed with a message that unfortunately Uber is currently unavailable in your area. So what I did next was I changed my location. I selected London in the right and set my location, and then I opened Uber again in the emulator, and then I tried to book my cab. So I am choosing my destination in London, say London Bridge. So here also one thing which you should keep in your mind, that you should update, you should refresh the app as it gets slightly, it takes some time in order to get updated. So now you can see that you are able to book a cab which was which was previously, which you were not aware, which you cannot book earlier. So this was a very simple method that you can use by using the Android Studio in order to test your mobile application. Similarly, you can use Xcode as well. It has also the similar feature. And so all these tools that I showed till now, they are choosing your location as the static location. You must be wondering that how we can test our application if we want to test our application with real data, or with moving data, or with moving location. So for that, the next tool that we can use is the Loketo app. This is this app is available on Play Store. This is for Android applications. You can easily download it, and you have to give permissions for developer role, and then you can easily use this application in your phone. So what it does is you can create a simulation data in this, and then that data can be used in order to test any other application. So it will serve as a real-time moving data for you. So this is a video that I created for Loketo. I am choosing any name for my simulation test data. I have selected A point in the map, B point in the map. You can see A and B, and I can also copy their coordinates. And I also selected C point on the map, and I copied its GPS coordinates. So there is a availability in Loketo that you can choose the path, that how you want to cover, either linearly or by driving. And then you can also choose that how much accurate results you want. So this kind of path I have created, A to B and B to C, right? If I click on the play button, then you can see that how this pointer is moving. So this kind of data is exactly real-time data, and your location is changing. Suppose you give permission to other applications using the location of Loketo. So you can see here that how the coordinates are changing and how the travel distance is changing. As the distance is changing, and if you give permission to other applications that are using your location to use the location of Loketo, then they will be using exact location that is being changed in the Loketo app. And kind of this kind of application creates either the GPX format or XML form or KPX format, and this data can then be exported easily in order to debug your application. So suppose you want to see that whether the delivery guy following this path is correct or not, then you can easily create data from this app, and then this data can be exported and can be used in order to debug your application. So I think you must have got a gist of how you can use various applications in order to test geolocation. So we can launch a poll for the next question for Lokito. So the question says that can we generate a static location on Lokito? So the options yes, no, and maybe. Let's wait for the results. So 55% of the people says that yes, we can. 27 says no. 18% says maybe. So yes, the answer is yes, we can create. Instead of choosing all the paths, you can easily choose any point on the map and you can play the application. Or either you can copy the coordinates of that location and you can use. So these were the ways by which we can test our applications manually. Now you must be wondering that is there any way that we can use automation also? So yes, we can automate the geolocation testing and I will be covering it in the next slides. So Selenium 4 can be used in order to ensure that your web application renders perfectly. So Selenium 4 has access to Chrome Dev Tools. Since it has access to Chrome Dev Tools and Chrome Dev Tools can be easily used to override your geolocation. So yes, you can easily automate the geolocation testing. All you need to do is you need to include these dependencies in your form.xml, Selenium Chrome driver and Selenium Java, and you have to download your Chrome. So it will work only for Chrome. And similarly, APM can also be used in order to test the applications. We are covering very brief about automation of geolocation testing here. So this is the code snippet for testing geolocation by using the automation. So suppose now you have your coordinates with you, like you want to test for London. So you have coordinates with you like latitude, longitude. So what you can do is just create a kind of map for latitude and longitude, and then you can use execute CDP command. This is a function that is available in Selenium 4. So what it does is it will just override your location. It will just override your location to the location that you want to put in. So this is the location you want to test your application on. By putting this location in this function, you can easily override your geolocation. You can navigate to the URL, and you must be asked about the pop-up that will come on the top in order to allow you to allow you to access the location. So after clicking that, you are mostly ready by testing the geolocation by using automation. So just you have to take any location, the coordinates of that location, and then you have to override by using this function. So that's it from our side, and uh, you're most welcome for the questions. We can take the questions, Nupur.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Nupur, and thank you, Somya. Guys,